Hello everyone! Today we'll be looking at how realistics are guns in the game Will to Live Online. The internet and especially YouTube gun channels are full of compliments about how perfectly guns are done in Escape from Tarkov. And Escape from Tarkov is a hardcore survival game which is aimed to be very realistic. This is pretty much at the current day and age as far as we can pretty much go in a normal game, not a specially made simulator. This is pretty much how as far as we can go with the realistic behavior of firearms. But today I would like to take a look at something different. Maybe let's take a look at MMORPG created by a small studio that is also set in similar universe but with all of the fantasy post-apocalyptic elements like anomalies, mutants. And we'll take a look at this because pretty much in most games like that developers are not really restrained in the realism, so they pretty much can do whatever they want. But in this game, in my opinion, they did quite well. Let's start with the handguns, especially with pistols. So we have the Makarov pistol, which is 9mm Makarov or 9x18 chambered pistol, and it's usually accessible in this game as your first firearm. This is actually the firearm you are starting with and you are using it in the tutorial. So let's test some very basic behavior. We shoot one, we shoot two. We have 8 rounds in the magazine. And we are going to reload. So we reloaded one and you see the character didn't actually rack the slide. Why is it? Well, it's because the round was already in the chamber. This is an auto-loading pistol, so if you did not shoot all your rounds, there is still a round in the chamber. Therefore, it is very realistic that the character just swapped the magazines. Let's see what will now happen if we empty the gun. Okay, it's now empty. It's now empty and it's in the back position. The slide is in the back, is locked, open, and now when you reload, the character will release the slide, chambering the first round. The only unrealistic thing about it is that, for example, if I have a magazine which has 8 rounds in it and I have 1 round in the chamber, once I reload, I should have 9 rounds. Well, I ran out of ammo, but we'll repeat it with the next firearm. Let's empty this one. Focus on the recoil. And we are empty. Now let's use the Tetka. Tokarev auto-loading pistol, chamber in 7.62 by 25 Tokarev, very popular Second World War weapon, and also Soviet Union kept using it for years and years later. Okay, let's shoot. The first thing that you can see is there is not much of a difference in recoil with 9mm Makarov, which is not very good portrayal of the Tokarev and Makarov. I would say Tokarev is more than twice as powerful in energy than Makarov is. Therefore, well, in my opinion, it definitely should have a little bit more recoil and the sound should be a little bit louder. I actually had a chance to shoot my friend Tokarev yesterday, and yeah, that's not a low recoil weapon. For a fact, this is like 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. If it comes from surplus ammunition boxes, it's more powerful than 357 Magnum. But let's see now. I have one round left. It's in the chamber. Now let's swap the magazines. Oh, we have 8. Let's swap them again. We have 8, and it should be 9. But let's do not worry about it at the moment. A matter of fact is that once we empty the magazine and we shoot the last round that is in the chamber, the slide is locked back, and then once we insert a new magazine, we release the slide. You may think, if you are actually a person that is shooting and know how firearms behave, you may think it's normal for it to be in the games, but in the past, let's say, and also in many modern games as well, it's not very obvious. For example, do you remember the Counter-Strike, the original 1.6 version? When you had a round when you had the round in the chamber, you didn't shoot all of the round loaded, and you pressed R for reload. Then your slide magically moved back on its own and lock itself open, while the round that was in the chamber disappeared. Why is it? Well, it's because this way developers need to make 2 animations instead of 1, because it's easiest to have 1 animation for reload. But here there is 1 animation of inserting a magazine and another animation when slide is locked back, and another animation for the slide. Okay, let's move to the revolvers. And I need to say it that in this game it is absolutely awesomely made. This is one of not many games that actually do the loading gate revolver, once like Cold Single Action Army or Nagant that you do not open the cylinder to the side. You actually use this small loading gate that you can see here, well, it's actually pretty big, to remove spent brass manually and insert each round back manually. Let's look at what I mean. So we shot one. We only shot one round. So how many do we have to reload? The cylinder contains 7 rounds. So we need to reload one. What the character does? It reloads one. Let's shoot 3 times. What character does? 1, 2, 3. Bang! And this is how you reload Nagant revolvers or single action army revolvers in games. Now it's 4. Bang, 4. This is how it should be done. Now let's take a look at the revolver I was talking about. In this case it's the modern Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Yeah, some people say this is the most powerful revolver in the world. I disagree. The most powerful revolver in the world is this Magnum Research Chamber in 4570 government. But let's forget about this. We'll shoot 2 rounds. And it is worth noticing that sound is way better in this one. Okay, so cylinder has 5 chambers. We shoot 3 rounds. Let's reload. Yeah, this is what happens. Each time the character is using speed loader, so he just empties everything and discard. Well, those are not my brass, but and in this case recoil is very realistic. It's a very powerful revolver that should sound and should actually shoot like that. And yeah, I would still say that the player, the character we are playing as in the game has a lot of skill to actually control the recoil this well. Now let's take a look at the assault rifle. And I think that for the convenience I should probably remove the scope. This is standard army issued M16. As we can see, we have rails everywhere, which is nice. And we all know people who own ARs, they love customizing them. So you can do this in this game as well. Not as much as in Tarkov, but you can. Now the sound is very good and the recoil is very realistic. This weapon does not recoil much. Okay, we shot 6 rounds. Let's reload. Perfect. There was round in the chamber. There was no need for us to actually do anything with the bolt. But we have 30 rounds while it should be 31, assuming we are swapping for a fully loaded magazine. Let's see. What if we shoot all of them? Let's just go crazy. Okay. Let's go now. Okay, so it's partially perfect because character actually, once the chamber is empty and we insert new magazine, its character is manually recocking the bolt, but ARs have a bolt release and a bolt catch, which means after the last round the bolt will be catched in the back position, and once we insert a new magazine we just need to hit bolt release button. But it's still better than majority of the games, and it's not even a game that focuses on realism. It's an MMORPG with mutants and anomalies. Okay, let's move to my favorite topic. Let's move to shotguns. And for this I prepared us two shotguns. This is a beautiful TOS shotgun. As we can see, this is TOS 34. The name is correct, and the view of this double-barreled shotgun is a very realistic. This is what we would normally see. Well, normally we wouldn't see as much of the aiming surface. It should be just a horizontal line and a front sight, but it's good for the purpose. It's good, and let's shoot one. Oh, I shot a shotgun, and what I shot is not a slug. What did I shot again? Oh, I shot a backshot. I shot a backshot at target that is silhouette size, and it's 50 meters away from me. It's 50 meters. So this is how shotgun works, especially ones like this. Hunting double barrel shotguns with chokes. They are able to hit a target in 50 meters with a backshot. Oh, I just shot two. Let's reload two of, and character reloads two. Let's shot one. I only shot one. The other barrel has still one in the chamber. We reload one, and this is how it should be done. All game developers, if you want to put any double barrel shotgun, sound of double barrel shotgun, which most games actually does because they love it, please remember, you have 2 rounds in 2 chambers. If you shoot one, the other one is still functional and you can reload only one of them. And also, shotguns are not 2 meters weapon. Let's go at the 100. Let's go to the 100 shooting gallery. Okay. You see, 100, the distance from me and target. Bam! Of course, not all of the pellets in the backshot hit the target, and sometimes you can miss, but they do not disappear in the air. It is possible. It is possible to hit something with the 12 gauge shotgun at 100 meters. Now let's take a look at combat shotgun. This is our all-time favorite, SPS 12. And SPS 12 is actually a combat shotgun which don't have any chokes. Chokes, if you don't know, are the small tubes that, depending of the type, can increase or decrease your spread. And as most combat shotguns, SPS 12 doesn't have chokes. There are custom-made adapters that allow you to put it on the outside of the barrel. It's called external choke, and then you can have chokes, but this, you can clearly see that this SPS has no chokes. It has a smooth bore barrel, so it should be very accurate when shooting slugs, but not necessarily as accurate as double barrel shotgun when shooting the backshot. But as you can see, I'm hitting with 2 pellets and 1 pellet. That is... and look at this reload. Yes. What is very awesome in this game is actually once you become very proficient with the firearm, you can reload it faster like that. Because this is, if you ever watched the sport competition of IPSC or EDPA, actually EDPA doesn't have shotguns in it, so let's say IPSC. This is how most of the people reload, to be quick, because you can reload 2 at the same time if you have the proper equipment, proper training, and you know how to approach it with the right angle. Let's see. I shoot 1, I shoot 1, and reload 2. Yeah, that's how it goes. So, reassuming, how realistic are firearms in Will to Live Online? I would say for a MMORPG game, for a fantasy game, they are pretty damn realistic. It's not all the way persistent. There are still some strange shortcuts, but developers of Will to Live Online, I need to say that you did better job than majority of FPS games, and you should definitely keep going this way. I would say for like loading gate revolver, or for double barrel shotgun, or for shotguns in general, because in your game I can hit 100 meters with a shotgun, which is very realistic. And I have to say, yep, you did pretty well. You did pretty well, and let's hope others will learn from you. Thank you very much, everyone, and more Guns in Games reviews are coming. 7 Days to Die is the next one. See you, take care, and go to the range, please.